Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna everyone. Today is the second class of our Bhagavad Gita learning series. And in our previous class, we studied the first verse of the first chapter. So now we will move on to the next two verses, verse 2 and 3. We see in the first verse, Dhritarashtra asked a question to his secretary Sanjaya. Dharma kshetri kurukshetre samaveta yujutsava mamaka pandavaschaiva kim akurvata Sanjaya. So his question was about the happenings of the battlefield from day 1 to day 10 of the battle, because that was the 10th day when Dhritarashtra asked this question to his secretary Sanjaya. And that day, their chief commander of the Kaurava Sena, Kaurava army, Bhishma Deva, got severely injured by the sharp arrows of Arjuna, and he fell down from the chariot almost at the verge of dying. So Dhritarashtra, on hearing this news, was very distressed, and he asked this question. So there were so many points of fear in his mind, Dhritarashtra's mind, and that is why he was very perturbed. And now Sanjaya, being a very sensitive, honest and unbiased person, will now answer the question of Dhritarashtra. His intention was to give solace also to Dhritarashtra by his words, as well as to narrate the exact situation of the battlefield. So now Sanjaya will answer in the next few verses. Verse 2. Drishtva tu pandavanekam vyudham Duryodhanastada acharyam upasangamya raja vachanam abravit. Sanjaya uvacha, Sanjaya said, Drishtva, after seeing, tu, but, Pandava Anikam, the soldiers of the Pandavas, Vyudham, arranged in a military phalanx, Duryodhana, King Duryodhana, Tada, at that time, Acharyam, the teacher, Upasangamya, approaching, Raja, the king, Vachanam, words, Abravit, spoke. So Sanjaya said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words. So, a few words are specifically significant in this verse. We will discuss them. We'll try to discuss them individually. First of all, drishtva, on seeing the vast array, the beautifully arranged soldiers of the Pandava army, Duryodhana got scared. And being a very shrewd politician and a diplomat, he hid his emotion, apparently, and went to the teacher, Dronacharya. Dronacharya was the teacher of archery of both the Pandavas and the Kauravas. That is, both the sons of Dhritarashtra and the sons of Pandu. Because all the cousins belong to the same Kuru dynasty, so their teacher was common. In the childhood, all the brothers, both the Duryodhana and the party, and the Pandavas, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, Sahadeva, everybody learned archery from Dronacharya. So, now Duryodhana got afraid, hid his emotion, and very submissively went to the Acharya, Dronacharya, and said these words. And what all the words that will be said in the next verse, verse 3. Pashyetam Panduputrāṇam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudham Drupada-putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. So this verse also we will study together, for they are very much related to each other. Pashya, behold, etam, this, Panduputranam, of the sons of Pandu, Acharya, O teacher, Mahatim, great, Chamum, military force, Vyudham, arranged, Drupada Putrena, by the son of Drupada, Tava, your, Shishyena, disciple, Dhimata, very intelligent. So, Duryodhana was perfectly skilled in diplomacy. So, though fear arose in his mind on the very sight of the vast array of the Pandava army, Duryodhana tried not to express that. Instead, he went to his Acharya, Dronacharya, and offered sufficient respect. See, Sanjaya, here as we said, a few words are important. Sanjaya addressed Duryodhana as Raja. Raja Vachanam Abravit. Sanjaya, being an honest, humble, the genuine, unbiased person, he narrated the entire battle as it happened. Duryodhana was ruling the kingdom for quite a long time. After he deceitfully sent the Pandavas for an exile of 12 years, followed by 1 year of incognito, Duryodhana was actually ruling the kingdom. So that is why Sanjaya did not hesitate to address Duryodhana as Raja. Moreover, being a very sensitive person, he, as we just said, uh, he could understand the um, the condition of the mind of Dhritarashtra also. So we see here one thing, that it is required for a person to behave properly in this material world also. But a person who is spiritually elevated, like Sanjaya, it is spontaneous for them. But in case of Duryodhana, we see the submissiveness and the respect that he is offering now to Dronacharya is not genuine. It is the effect of his diplomatic strategies. Why? He wanted to create an angry mood in Dronacharya, because it is the rule of the battle that if you can make the soldiers angry and disgusted of the enemies, they will put their best effort in the war. So that is the diplomatic strategy. Now, Duryodhana, being a very skilled diplomat, he was not ready to miss a single chance to utilize the situations in his favor. So how he wanted to make Dronacharya angry, that is discussed in these two verses. For that matter, in the next verse we see Drupada Putrena. This term is very important. Vyudham Drupada Putrena Tavasishyena Dhimata, which means the soldiers of the Pandava army were so beautifully arrayed by Drupadaputra, their chief commander. His name is actually Drishtadyumna, but deliberately Duryodhana did not utter the name Drishtadyumna. Instead, he said Drupadaputrena, which means there are some specific reason behind it we will discuss now. Drupada, as we know, was the father of Draupadi. So, the father-in-law of the Pandavas. Now, Drupada was the king of Panchal. Draupadi's other name is Panchali, we know that. So now, this Drupada, King Drupada, was the son of Bharadvaja Muni. And Dronacharya was the son of Bharadvaja Muni. And Drupada learned archery along with Dronacharya in the ashram of Bharadwaja Muni. And so they were very good friends in their childhood. But later on, and it was so deep friendship that Raja Drupada promised Dronacharya, his friend, Bharadwaja Muni's son, that when he will be enthroned, he will sit on the uh, royal chair, he will give a portion of his kingdom in gift to his friend Dronacharya. That was Drupada's promise in the childhood. But when the time came, Drupada went to his royal court uh, and addressed him as a friend and reminded him of the promise. Drupada got furious. He said, "How dare you, you poor Brahmana? Is it ever possible of a king and a Brahmana be friends? A poor Brahmana be friends? So how dare you to call me, to address me as a friend?" So he insulted Drupada in many ways by his harsh words in front of everybody in the royal court. So Dronacharya was very disheartened and angry also at the same time. So later on, as we know, Arjuna was his most favorite disciple. He took a revenge through Arjuna. Arjuna uh, and Drupada met in a battle, and Drupada was defeated by Arjuna in that battle. So Dronacharya's revenge was successful. But it did not end here, because Drupada could not digest the fact that he lost the battle to a very, very young boy. He was a very valorous warrior, Drupada. So he could not digest this fact, and then he was planning for a even greater revenge. We see in the material world this happens. Uh, if we think of a revenge for a deed that a person uh, rendered to us, and we think of taking revenge, then actually there will be no end of it. It will be continuing like a cycle. I will tell you something, you will in turn tell me something. I will do injustice to you, you will do injustice in return. So there will be no end of it. So that is why we have to learn a lesson from here also. Uh, that what happened, definitely it is for a better cause, for a better plan by the Lord. Maybe apparently it looks very disappointing at what happened to Dronacharya. This, that his friend, his childhood friend, uh, even was not ready to recognize him as a friend when they grew up. That is definitely very disappointing and very disheartening. But if he could uh, anyway forgive Drupada for this matter, then definitely everything would be changed. But it is also a plan of Bhagwan. So it happened, because we see ultimately it is Bhagwan's Maya, the the play of Mahamaya, and Bhagwan makes us play according to his wish. So these things happened. Anyway, uh, So now Drupada was planning for a revenge. So what he did for that matter, he arranged a great sacrifice to satisfy all the devas with a view to having a son who will kill Dronacharya in future. And that happened. He received a boon from the devas in the yajna, and from the sacrificial fire he received a son whose name was Drishtadyumna, and a daughter also, Krishna or Draupadi or Yajnasena. So Drishtadyumna was the son of Drupada, who was now the chief commander of the Pandava army. Dronacharya's disciple, and he was Dronacharya's disciple. Now it is also very interesting. Dronacharya was a very magnanimous personality, and in spite of knowing this fact that Drupada received this son to kill him, he accepted Drishtadyumna as his disciple and taught all the tricks of uh, archery without hesitation. So that is a true guru. And that is the reason till date in our country, the gurus in the field of sports, etc., receive an award, that is Dronacharya award. He was a perfect guru. But here Duryodhana was actually very intelligently insulting Dronacharya for this matter also. That as if his approach was like that, see how foolish you are. Instead of knowing everything, you taught this son of Drupada, Drishtadyumna, who is now standing against you with this beautifully arranged array. So you deserve this, as if he was talking like this in his mind. But externally, he looked very submissive, and strategically, he looked very submissive, and he also pointed out that as Drupada Putra, Drishtadyumna, is your disciple, so definitely he is intelligent enough, because you are a great Acharya, a great Guru. So all your disciples are also equally competent. They received training from you. So he is very intelligent and very efficient. Uh, so definitely we have to be little alert of him also. So that is also one aspect of Duryodhana's behavior here at this particular moment. So दृष्ट्वा तु पाण्डवानिकं व्यूढं दुर्योधनस्तदा आचार्यम् उपसंगम्य राजा वचनम् अब्रवीत् पश्येतान् पाण्डुपुत्राणाम् आचार्यं महतीं चमु व्यूढं द्रुपदपुत्रेण तव शिष्येन धीमता. These are the two verses that we learned today. So here we see the mind, the reflection of the mind of Duryodhana also. It is only possible for such a wicked person like Duryodhana, full of jealousy, hatred, suspiciousness. So all these things, all these negative emotions were there in the mind of Duryodhana. And it is only possible for such a wicked person to even entertain such evil feelings for the Guru. Otherwise, as we know, uh, the respect for the Guru is no less than the respect that we offer to the Supreme Lord. Because Guru is the representative of the Supreme Lord. It is not that by chance we receive a Guru in our life. It is the plan of the Supreme Lord that we receive a great teacher in our life. Anyway, so even after being at a place that is such a holy place, Kurukshetra, Dharmakshetra, such a holy place where all the austerities were done by the Devas, and as we learned that in all the Smriti and Shruti Shastras, it is described, the it is a place of the pious people, the religious people. So in this holy place also, Duryodhana's wickedness was prevailing. And that is why we see in these two verses the mind of Duryodhana was actually unveiled. As we see in the previous verse, Dhritarashtra's mind was unveiled in just 2 lines. His discriminative mind, his attitude, his tremendous attachment for his own sons and aversion for the sons of his own brother. So these things we found in the last verse, the mentality of Dhritarashtra, and here in verse 2 and 3 we see the mentality of Duryodhana, how similar they are, because Duryodhana inherited some of the qualities from his father Dhritarashtra. So the negative emotions, the demoniac attributes in our mind are like we have to fight. We ourselves have to fight against these demoniac attributes within our heart. We all have certain demoniac qualities in our heart. Definitely some divine qualities are also there. So it is our responsibility to to fight with the demoniac qualities, and let the divine qualities come out victorious. As we see, the battlefield of Kurukshetra is an external reflection of the battlefield within our heart. So a constant tug of war between the divine and the demoniac attributes are going on. So, and that is why in the battlefield of Kurukshetra also the demoniac attributes were conquered by the divine attributes of the Pandavas. The demoniac attributes possessed by the Kauravas and the divine attributes possessed by the Pandavas. So the Pandavas came out victorious in the battle of Kurukshetra. So we also have to struggle for this within our heart. So with this, we will now conclude today's session. In our next class, we will study the next few verses of chapter 1. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Namaskar.